The following is a production of WCMP Sports. It's time for volleyball action here on WCMP. First serve is coming up shortly, but now we send it to the court for the call of this match.
End of the season.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of volleyball here on WCMP. Whether you're listening on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, or you've chosen to listen live from our website at WCMPradio.com. Thanks so much for joining in. I, of course, am Ethan Game Day Gilman, and I am joined by Adam Hefty. Adam, thanks so much for joining me, and how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Oh, beautiful drive up here to Hermantown.
Yeah, it was, and it's even better because it's a gorgeous day.
Oh my God,
in November in Minnesota.
Yeah,
no less. Right? Oh, my goodness. What a day for volleyball. Of course, we get to be inside, so the weather not going to affect us in here, but this should be a very good matchup. Rush City has pretty much dominated throughout the regular season. I think all three of us have been able to call at least one game for Rush City volleyball this year, but watching them, they have been pretty dominant, and they've got Bankston is their power here, but other than that, it seems like they're just so fundamentally sound, this Rush City team, that's why they've been so good all year.
A very balanced squad, very disciplined squad. You rarely find them out of position. Mm-hmm. You talk about Bankston, but also Ella Ferry is a pretty big swinger, and then Cora Sajadovic really sets things up for their offensive game.
Yeah, and Sajadovic does a really good job serving as well. I know she's got plenty of aces behind her arm, and when you look at volleyball sometimes, a lot of times we see it, they switch up who serves after each point, and sometimes all you need is that one person go back and serve, and that can really change the game, and it seems like when Sajadovic is back there, it really changes the game for Rush City.
Yeah, I've done a few since I live in Bram, so I do quite a few of Rush City games, and yeah, Sajadovic, it's not rare for her to roll off 3-4 aces in a row.
Yeah, and they, like you mentioned, they've got a very balanced squad. It's Bankston, Sajadovic, and we mentioned Ferry, but it seems like every single one of these players on this roster can come out there at any point in time and really make a difference. I mean, Ertz hasn't gotten a ton of playing time this year, I think, as we've seen before, but she's come in and been a great complement piece to her teammates. I mean, she does it all as well, coming off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at this Rush City squad and you're watching them, they don't come across as that dominant squad where they're just hitting the ball all over the place, but they just do it really well everywhere.
Yeah, and we mentioned you got the two big hitters, but I like what you said there. They just do it well at every spot, and as we take a look at their season, of course, we talk about that dominance throughout the year. 25-1. The lone loss on the year came against, I believe it was in a tournament, as I go to the
Pine River Bacchus.
Yes, there we go, Pine River Bacchus.
You saw them last night.
I did. They played against Bram. That was one where the scoreboard isn't getting to tell the whole story. Of course, Bram, much more competitive team than what the final score will show. But as we look on, Pine River Bacchus, their only loss. And speaking of, Pine River Bacchus will be in the semifinals tomorrow night. But after that loss, I mean, the Tigers didn't give up too many set victories to any other teams. We look at one from Pine City, one from Mille Lacs, two from Bram, and then one from Simley, and that's it on the season.
Yeah, and they never, like I said before, they don't ever get out of position. They never get rattled either. And so they come to play a volleyball match and get out of here early, and that seems to be what they want to do. They have dinner reservations, perhaps.
Yes, maybe they do up here at Hermantown High School, just outside of Duluth. But, this team does play very well. They were 10-0 in the conference, Great River Conference champs this year. Of course, that title has been shared and or split between them and Mille Lacs and even Pine City these last couple of years, but this year outright champs of the Great River Conference. And as we look at the squad, not a whole lot of seniors. We've got, 3-4 on their roster right now. And, it's Ribbich, then we go to Hemming, Lamont, and Angstman. And those are pretty good players as well. But then they get to return a lot of these players for next year as well. Of course, you don't want to be looking to next year already. But this team, these seniors, I think, have done a good job of leading this team and being those senior captains that they need to be, because this team last year was good but fell out early right here at Hermantown High School. But now they're 25-1, probably the favorite from the section to go to state.
Yeah, there's a very different mentality between chasing and being chased, and it really falls on senior leadership to get their team's heads right, game in, game out. These are high school girls.
Yeah.
I mean, high school kids aren't, steady for
right.
much less. I have 2 of them. They're not steady for an hour. So, so it's really pretty impressive how strong they've been all season.
Yeah, and consistent, I think, is another word to be used here for the Rush City Tigers. They've just been consistent all year long. They don't get too high, they don't get too low, and it always seems like when you're looking over at their bench, they're always loose. They're always dancing with the music that's out there. They're always looking at each other, trying to build each other up, and not hanging their heads. And I think that's something to speak on, because a lot of times I think teams, after losing a set maybe, or it was a tough 2 sets, they can really hang their head easily because, you're down and you've played your hardest, but you're down. But this Rush City team just doesn't do that.
I had the Rush City Bram game when it was in Bram, and Bram really gave them all they could handle, and it was 24-20 in the second, third, and fourth sets, and Rush City did not panic, and they won 2 of those sets.
Yeah.
The second and third. I don't remember, but able to come back and take those sets is really impressive if you think about it.
Yeah, it really is, and we've called plenty of volleyball games this year where you look at it and it's 25-15, or 24-15. It looks like it's over. Then one team just comes and storms back from behind and takes that victory. And I think Rush City is a team that is built to be able to do that. Now, obviously, they don't want to be down that much in a set, but I think this is a team, if there is any in this section tournament, that this is the team right here that is built to come from behind if they have to.
Yeah, absolutely, and it kind of relies a lot on the discipline and just the versatility that this team has, where they, like we said, they're not dominant anywhere, but they're really good everywhere.
Yeah, they really are. And as we look at their opponent here this evening, International Falls making the road trip down here to Hermantown in that Iron Range Conference. Well, they did tie with Greenway at 4-0, but they finished the season at 18-6 on the year. So a pretty good year here for the International Falls Broncos. They finished the season ranked 42 in all of Class AA. So both of these teams look to be having a very good night here tonight. It should be a competitive matchup, but again, I think Rush City is favored in this one. But you talk a little bit about how that can sometimes go against you, because that can go to your head a little bit, and you might be able to overlook a team.
It's really important for that senior leadership to keep Rush City's heads into this and just survive and advance. Yeah. And that's really what Rush City needs to focus on tonight.
Yeah, and if they do advance, they'll be right back here at Hermantown on Saturday evening. If they win here tonight over International Falls, they'll be back here on Saturday evening at 6 p.m. taking on the winner of Greenway and Esco. Now, Greenway is one of the 6 teams that were able to beat International Falls. Esco also there, a very strong team in Esco. Pine City and Esco, I think that'll be an interesting matchup, Greenway-Esco, because Pine City and Esco, they were battling for that 2-3 spot all season long in Section 7 AA, part of the SS1. And Pine City wound up getting the second seed. Esco wound up playing in Pine City, and they got the victory 3-0. So I think that's going to be a sneaky, interesting matchup, even though Greenway is the number 1 seed.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, when you come to playoff time, it's every game is tough.
Yeah.
And you got to come out with your A game.
Yeah. And like I always say, come playoff time, it's basically a brand new season. You throw out everything you did during the regular season, the records, the personal records, your team overall record. It doesn't matter once you get to playoff time because, well, it's playoffs. And
look at Foley.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Foley football.
Exactly. 8 seed coming from behind. Well, I think they're a 7 seed, but we get the point.
Still, yeah.
Exactly. Coming from behind, the underdogs, and have just come through and made a mess of that section tournament over there in football. But we are going to get a word from our fine sponsors. Then we will have our national anthem and our starting lineups announced. And then when we come back, we'll be set for first serve here at Hermantown High School for this Section 7 AA semifinal playoff match between the Rush City Tigers and the International Falls Broncos. You're listening to Volleyball on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP.
End of the season means savings at Minnesota Equipment. Save big on remaining zero turns in stock. Bravely, Aaron's, Toro, and John Deere. Buy now with 0% financing available. That's 0 on zero turns. Need a walk behind instead? They got plenty of those too. On site and ready to go. The knowledgeable staff will get you the machine that fits your property size. Minnesota Equipment. Your neighbors. Your experts. Your neighborly experts. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
Hi, this is Shelby from Unity Bank in Rush City, Minnesota. Do you want to give your teenager independence and responsibility? Open a savings account or a checking account with a debit card at Unity Bank today. Plus, with the Unity Control mobile app, you can help control their debit card activity. And stay tuned because we'll soon be offering a Rush City Tigers School Spirit debit card, where with every purchase you make with your School Spirit debit card, Unity Bank will donate up to 5 cents to our local Rush City School District. Let's be committed to community together. You can find us at unitybanking.com, and our number is 320-358-3600, member FDIC.
A&W Restaurant Pine City is still making fresh root beer, that signature item since 1919. It's still made fresh and on-site with real cane sugar and a blend of secret ingredients. It doesn't get any better than this. Their world-renowned A&W root beer is a classic treat, and they can top it off with creamy vanilla soft serve to be known as the famous A&W root beer float. Now that's smooth, tasty, and refreshing. An American iconic A&W root beer float. It never tasted so good. A&W Restaurant Pine City. Come grab your root beer float today.
With high school sports season here again, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hey, I'm Chad Greenway. When I was playing, I loved chasing down running backs. But you shouldn't have to chase your bank around when you're buying a home. Franzen Bank and Trust Mortgage Consultants will be with you stride for stride, like a linebacker on a running back, from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Let Franzen Bank guide you through the mortgage process. Learn more at franzenbank.com/get there. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Choose the right divorce attorney. Spear and Swanson will make sure the judge knows your side of the story. Let them help you with your divorce, custody, child support, harassment, or orders for protection. They also handle DWIs and other legal matters. The right divorce attorney does make a difference. That's why you need to choose Spear and Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-620-7586.
I'm Steve Schwartzbar, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of all the local teams on WCMP. Call me, Steve Schwartzbar, at 763-552-1100 for all your investment needs.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
At Stearns Bank, we're proud to get together to cheer on Dragon Athletics, and we believe that we can always go further when we work together. Whether you're earning your next big win on the field, on the court, or in the arena of life, surround yourself with a team focused on integrity, accountability, and hard work. Put our top-performing team to work for you. Visit our local Pine City branch on Hillside Avenue, call us at 320-629-6713, or explore more online at stearnsbank.com. Go Dragons! Stearns Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM, AM 1350, the site for tonight's Section 7AA semifinal playoff volleyball matchup between the Rush City Tigers and the International Falls Broncos. I'll probably call them I-Falls just because it's shorter. And you don't have a lot of time in between scores and then the serve to really say a whole lot, so we'll keep it short. But, Adam, I think you have our starters here for tonight for both of these teams.
I do. For the Broncos, they're going to start with Destry Whitbeck, Audrey Pavlek, Lola Valenzuela, I believe, Gracie Swenson, Bella Willie, and Madison Willie. For the Rush City Tigers, it's very similar to the starting lineups they've had all season with Autumn Stream, Cora Sayadovich, Lydia Bankston, Ella Ferry, Mackenzie Ribbich, and Michaela Ertz.
So those are your starting lineups here for both of these teams. It should be a fun one here this evening as the Rush City Tigers take on the International Falls Broncos. And the Rush City Tigers, I thought they were going to put their libero Gar in right. They will. There it is. So they will substitute her in for Cora Sejadovic. And she'll go in there to, or maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not sure. They tricked me there. they put her in, and then she came out and is now getting a drink of water. And it's the strategic tactic they're taking right now, trying to fool I Falls. I'm still not sure if she's going to go. Oh, there we go. We're waiting on the referee down there to give her the go-ahead. There they go. But instead, it will not be Sejadovic who comes out. It will be Autumn Stream. And McKenna Gar will move to the back line with Ella Ferry and, of course, Mackenzie Ribich. The Broncos will start with the serve. It will be Aubrey Pavlik. And her serve is up, and it is over, dug up by Gar to the front of the net. And Ribich looks for the kill early on, but it is dug up by I Falls. And getting it across there is Valenzuela. And there's Bankston, but this one is dug up just enough by Gracie Swenson. And early on already, Adam, a pretty good volley back and forth.
Yeah, International Falls is doing a great job of keeping the ball alive.
Now back over for the Tigers. Getting it down is Bankston, but again, another dig from I Falls, and that is going to be a double hit call on the Broncos. And the Tigers will take the game's first points, and we'll get a substitution very quickly. It's going to be Hemming who checks in for Ribich. Hemming, kind of an underrated player. She doesn't get her name called a whole heck of a lot, but she does a very good job when she comes in.
Yeah, she's sort of that linchpin that just keeps that front row alive.
Of course, Sejadovic back to serve, and there's the serve off of one hit. It gets down. Another point for Rush City, and there's what we talk about in the pregame. Sejadovic, that just her serve can really make a difference.
It's really hard to get that point if you can't get the ball going.
Yeah, absolutely. Sejadovic will do it again. This time it's into the net. That'll make it 2-1. And you can hear both of these student sections getting into it. And I've always enjoyed the student sections, especially when they keep it clean and they have fun with each other. I've always thought that to be fun, especially in playoff time. Bankston looking for the kill for Rush City, but they will push it across. Bankston dives for it, keeping it alive. That time is Ferry, and now getting it across is Gar. What a play there by the Tigers. And like we said, they're just in the right spot at the right time. And as I say that, the announcer's jinx goes into effect.
Yeah, Rush City is rarely out of position, and it showed there on that point, but International Falls did a good job of finding that open spot on the floor.
They really did, and early on, it looks like they're trying to just kind of lay the ball over the net, not really trying to look for that big hit yet. Looked like they're just trying to lay it over, and we'll get a double hit call on I Falls. That one was pretty clear to see.
Couple Rush City points are on the heels of a violation from International Falls.
Yeah, and again, if you're Tigers, you'll take the points any way you can get them, but I think if you're the Tigers also, you don't want to be getting those points necessarily all off the mistakes, and we get a whistle here and a point to I Fall. I didn't see what happened because that was a quick whistle before that ball went out of bounds.
Maybe it was an inadvertent whistle.
It might have been, but the point will go to I Falls. And, Ertz looking to go cross court with that one, but just a little long on that one. And I've been watching volleyball games through the playoffs, and it just looks like each of the teams that we're calling for, it just seems like they're trying to get those jitters out early on, and as soon as they do, man, is it pure and utter domination after that.
Yeah, running a little bit hot.
So Hemming pushes it across here for the Tigers, and then it gets over to Gar. Gar with the dig, the libero here for Tigers. And Hemming gets this one, took something off of that one.
Good change up there by Veronica Hemming. And it really kept I Falls on their heels.
She did indeed, and Gar will check out. Coming in for hers, Autumn Stream. And Michaela Ertz will go back to serve here for Rush City. We're tied at 4 apiece here in the first set. Serve is over, and it's dug up there by Gracie Swenson, but that one, a bit of a mix-up there. Rush City thought they had the point. I did as well, but then we got a late call that says I Falls gets the point. Adam, did you catch what happened?
I did. So it went barely over the net. Bankston got a piece of it and went out of bounds here on the sideline.
Okay. So I Falls will get the point, and Kale Taylor is back to serve for I Falls. It's dug up by the Tigers, and then a kill from Autumn Stream.
We're at a good position, but we're not used to this position being so high.
Right.
So we just have to get our eyes correct, and it'll be fine. We're in a good spot.
Yeah.
But this Hermantown gym is gorgeous.
Oh, it really is. It is beautiful, and yeah, I like how you put it. We're not used to being up this high. Certainly. The serve is over and dug up by the Broncos. Blocked at the net by the Tigers. Didn't get to see a number of who got it, but it's dug up after the hit across by Ella Ferry, and now Bankston will just tap it across, and another point there for the Tigers, taking their first lead here of this first set.
When you're playing against Rush City, you're just defending against those big, strong kills.
Yeah.
So when they change it up, it really catches you off guard.
It really does, and that, of course, was Bankston, their big hitter. Now the serve from Hemming is over. They look for the kill. Diving dig there from Bankston. And now Ferry will look to get it across. That's dug up by I Falls. And looking for the kill this time is Swenson. Right to Gar, though. And now just tapping it across the stream. That gets into the net off the dig, and it'll be another point here for Rush City. Gar has just done a great job so far getting those digs early on, and I think those can be really probably some of the most important parts of a point.
Yeah, and there's that changeup again, and it just leads to the question of when Rush City is going to start hitting those big kills.
Right, and yeah, so far we really haven't seen one yet, and at the net, we get two players going at it, one from each side, but Cora Sejadovic is going to get the benefit of the doubt for Rush City. She got a hand on it, and I think they called International Falls into the net.
Now a 5-1 run for Rush City. Gives them an 8-5 lead, and this is not where International Falls wants to be.
Certainly not, and Hemming, that's going to be an ace for Veronica Hemming. And 9-5, we talked pregame about how I'm not 100% sure of what an ace is or isn't. That I do know is an ace, though. That one's an ace.
I think of it as an error in baseball.
Yeah.
Where it's subjective,
right.
But
serve is over. Dug up that time by Bella Willie, and that one's going to go off the net and out of bounds. Bankston was chasing after it, and I thought that one was going to stay in. Again, I still getting adjusted, but I thought that was going to be in, but Bankston does a good job of letting that one go.
We're going to get used to this angle, Ethan, and then every other game we call from now on, it's just going to be off-center.
Yes. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be so bad. That one is just tapped over by the Broncos and then tapped back across by the Tigers. They'll have it. They'll set it up, and Swenson looks for the kill. Dug up by Gar, and nice job there by Sejadovic just to tap that one over. She had me fooled.
Yeah, it caught International Falls shifting their positions.
Yeah, Sejadovic already making her presence known. And again, Bankston, we have yet to see really a big swing from her tonight.
Yeah, from anybody in Rush City.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see when they employ that.
It will be, because so far, like you've said, they've really went with the changeup here so far tonight and using that to their advantage, and that gives them an 11-5 lead. And we kind of mentioned it before that sometimes it seems like teams just need to get those jitters out early on, and it looks like Rush City did that here as they have a 6-point lead.
Yeah, I believe it's a 8-1 run now that they're on, and it's been really impressive of how they've done it. Two of their first 3 points came on violations from International Falls. These are pure points coming from Rush City.
And I look back to that Bankston hit that she let go that was just a little bit long from I Falls, and that's got to be one of the harder things in volleyball to do, is watch a volleyball go out, because I think your instinct wants to go after it, but you know that you're going to get a free point if you just let it go. This serve is over once again and dug up by the Broncos, and this time getting the kill will be International Falls. That'll make it 11-6, so that timeout seemed to work for them.
Yeah, that was Madison Willie with the kill there, the senior.
And I would assume, I'm guessing her sister's Bella Willie, maybe a cousin even. You never know, because I've certainly been in situations where it's the same last name, same grade, but they're not even related. And this one going to be 4 hits for International Falls. That ball got kind of stuck at the top of the net there, and I thought that would have reset it, but in fact, looks like they called 4 hits, so I think that must have been the 4th hit on International Falls.
It was,
Okay.
Yeah.
So the serve, does not get over the net there for Ella Ferry. And a lot of times, I don't know how much you've seen it this year, but I've seen it almost every other serve that goes into the net like that has seemingly crawled over and gotten down for an ace. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's just crawling over the net.
Yeah, it grows legs. Abigail Thielander will check into the game now for Ella Ferry, and back to serve is going to be Bella Willie. Her serve is over, and it's dug up there by Ribich, and now looking for the kill is Bankston.
There's that big kill from Bankston that we've been looking for.
We've been waiting for it here so far in this first set, and we finally get it there. 13-7. The Tigers have the lead over I Falls. They'll get a substitution. It's going to be Haley Thorne checking out. In for her is Aubrey Pavlik. Now back to serve for Rush City will be McKenna Garr. Her serve is over. Dug up, and they'll set it up for the attempted kill, and off the block at the net from Sayadovich. Diving after it was Ribich. She couldn't catch up to it, and you've seen Sayadovich kind of tap her chest, say, hey, that's my bad, and almost as if to say, hey, she should have let Ribich get it.
Yeah, up 13-8, you can kind of afford that, but you don't want too many.
Exactly, and that can, I think a lot of times that can really spiral out of control for some teams because then it's a communication thing, but Bankston there getting a big swing on that one, didn't wind up in a kill, and comes back for Ribich at the net block, but Sayadovich right there to keep it alive. Now Bankston will just tap it over, and she didn't even need a big swing on that one. I mean, just the placement right there by Bankston was beautiful.
I want to give a shout out to Carson Corpy for International Falls, who kept that point alive for the Broncos. A really athletic play from her, but Rush City comes away with a point there.
Yeah, I've got to imagine that can be so kind of downing for a team when you do kind of make a big play like she did, and then it works out in the other team's favor. That's got to just be so unfortunate. Especially volleyball, I think, is a bigger mental game than people think it is.
Yeah, it's very instinctual, and so when you start thinking, you're already a step behind.
Rush City will get this point off the long hit from I Falls. They'll serve up and over, but it's blocked by Ertz, and then the hit back across from I Falls goes out of bounds.
Ertz in that front row at 6'1". She is a weapon up there defensively.
Yeah, she really is. She's a very good basketball player as well, so we'll see her in the winter sports. But, of course, Rush City trying not to get to winter sport practice just yet. They want to continue on here in this tournament. Of course, want to push to Saturday in the championship game. This serve is over, dug up by I Falls, back across. Now Bankston will just lay it over once again, and getting there in time was Pavlik. And now the kill across, blocked at the net. Getting after it was Sayadovich, and Garr was racing after it, but Ertz was right there to kind of get it back. And then at the net, it is Ertz again with the block.
There's that discipline that Rush City plays with. They weren't out of position. They were able to kind of respond when International Falls looked like they had the advantage and caught them in a shift, but Rush City was there.
Yeah, Rush City just does such a good job, and we talked about it pregame. There aren't too many mistakes, not too many violations that they make, as that one, and that was just a smart play by Madison Willie.
Willie did a great job. There's that changeup, and caught Rush City in the air and just put it where they weren't.
Yeah, that was, couldn't have done it any better. Madison Willie will make it a 17-9 game, and now serving is Lola Valenzuela. Serve is over, dug up by the Tigers, and Bankston. That's a kill for her.
Rush City now opening up a 9-point lead here in this first set, but it doesn't feel like they've been dominating as the score might entail.
Yeah, it really doesn't, and I 100% agree with that. It does not feel like it's a 9-point lead for Rush City right now going towards the back half of the set. It really does feel more or less like a 3 or 4 point difference in this one. But either way, the Tigers will get this one over, and Bankston again finds that back line and
got the back of that back line.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
That was real close.
And I do not envy the rest jobs down there. My goodness, that has got to be so tough. Because when it's close like that and you have a close call, one team's going to like it, one team's not going to like it. So you're doesn't end well for you either way.
Yeah. Although I don't see a lot of arguments in volleyball as I do in basketball.
Yeah, my goodness, yeah. That is, there are a lot in basketball. Oh, my goodness.
Too many.
Either way, the Broncos they keep it alive off the block from Rush City. They'll just tap it over. Sayadovich keeping it alive. Might have been able to let that one go as it went over. Oh, and then a bad miscommunication there from I Falls. Pavlik dove after it extremely late, and I think she was looking at her teammate across the way over there, Gracie Swenson, at possibly getting it, but that lands in between them both. The serve is over, dug up by I Falls again. Swenson looked for the kill, and it goes into the net. And on those, when it goes into the net like that, I gotta imagine that's just gotta be timing on the jump or something.
Yeah, it was. She kind of mishit it, and that's gonna happen sometimes.
Yeah, yep. Just don't want to let those mistakes ravel into a snowball effect. But either way, a timeout is called. Going to be the second one here by I Falls Broncos as they trail 21-9. Your Rush City Tigers have a lead 21-9 here in the first set, dominating so far. But again, it really doesn't feel like a 21-9 game here for Rush City.
No, it doesn't. International Falls is doing a good job of keeping points alive, but it's that discipline and knowing where they need to be for the Tigers to have this 12-point lead.
Yeah, and we talked about Bankston didn't really get a big swing and kill early on in this set, but lately she's gotten, 3 or 4 now as the set has gone along, and that, I think, has really provided some juice for this Rush City Tiger team, as now we get wrapped up with the timeout.
Yeah, Bankston with 4 kills so far in this first set. 4 also for Madison Wiley on the other side.
Yeah.
Madison Willie.
And Bankston will serve for Rush City. Oh, this one hits the net, but it gets over. I'm always surprised when it gets over like that. And then she will push this one out. Oh, and she knew it. Bankston, she got a hand on that one. It's one of those where it looks like her body just couldn't help but swing at it.
Yeah, knowing where you are on the court is really important in volleyball, especially when it's coming at you so fast.
Oh, yes. Orpy will hit it across for I Falls on the serve, and Ferry will just lightly tap it over, but it's dug up by I Falls. 3 Rush City Tigers go after it. Sayadovich is going to get the dig, and now it will be I Falls off the net, and oh my goodness, I don't even know. I don't know if they got the block, did Rush City, or if it went off that. I don't know. That was weird.
It's hard to see from this angle.
Yes. Very much so, but it either went off the net and down back on I Falls side, or Rush City got the block and then it went down. I don't know exactly what happened, but Rush City does get the point, and the serve is over from Ertz this time. They'll set it up this time for Bella Willie, but this goes over and out to make it a 23-10 lead for Rush City. So 2 points away here for Rush City from taking this first set. What do they need to do here to close it out?
I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing and just stay in position. Don't try to do too much.
Oh, then early whistle, but it's going to be called a double hit. And I'm still learning on all the calls, but I've never understood how you get a double hit call, especially as a ref. Again, not envious of the refs having to make those calls, because a double hit, man, that just seems so hard to see. Ertz with the serve. It's going to get to the middle of the net. Both teams get a hand on it. I Falls does a great job of keeping it alive. They get it back over the net again. Oh my goodness, and what a point there from I Falls.
Good vision by Bella Willie. They're finding that spot on that far sideline.
Yeah, that was wow, that went into the net, then it went over. Rush City got it back over, and then I Falls got it right back over. And you mentioned Bella Willie got it for a point, so they'll stay alive here in this first set, but Tigers looking to end it here. Ferry, and somehow, some way, I Falls got a hand under it. That was Gracie Swenson who got her hand under it, but it won't be enough as that last hit goes into the net, and that will give Rush City the 25-11 victory here in set 1. And man, these last 3 points or so here in this first set, they were pretty exciting.
It was exciting the entire set.
Yeah.
It looked like International Falls did a good job of keeping the ball alive. Rush City just able to be a little bit better on each point. I mean, it's 25-11. That was the final of this set, but like we said in the last time out, it didn't feel like that.
No, it really didn't. So we'll move on to the second set, but of course first they will take a little bit of a timeout here in between sets. We'll take a commercial break here. Word from our fine sponsors. You're listening to Volleyball on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP.
Great homes start with a sound foundation. That foundation starts with a mortgage from Northwoods Bank. Northwoods Bank is a community bank that knows the neighborhood. We have personalized home lending solutions, and with our rapid mortgage, apply online at northwoodsbank.com, be approved in 20 minutes, and be in your dream home sooner. Think local when it comes to your banking solutions. Ask for Kyle Nassine and Lynn Eby at Pine City Northwoods Bank. Northwoods Bank is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
It's almost time to start pushing snow. Sorry, just the messenger. Thankfully, Minnesota Equipment in Isanti has affordable machines to do the heavy lifting. Any size property. Toro and Aaron's walk behind snow blowers. Oh, you got land, huh? How about John Deere lawn and garden tractors? Or a compact utility tractor? Minnesota Equipment has them in stock. Snow removal doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not if you get into Minnesota Equipment, Highway 65 in Isanti, or visit minnesotaequipment.com.
October is College Knowledge Month at Pine Technical and Community College. The whole month, PTCC will be providing a variety of events for high school students and the community to learn more about college options. College Knowledge Month is meant to provide future students with the preparation, opportunity, and support needed to apply to college. Join PTCC for a nursing program information session on October 26th at 2:30 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Learn more at pine.edu.
Most Americans do not have a proper will or estate plan in place. Many of you listening have been putting off that important task for a long time. Stop waiting and contact Spear & Swanson today. Spear & Swanson can help you put together a tight legal estate plan to make sure the assets you've been working so hard to obtain get passed on to your loved ones in the way that best fits you. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City. Call 320-629-7586. That's 320-629-7586.
Back here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350. Home for tonight's Section 7AA semifinal game between the Rush City Tigers and the I-Falls Broncos. Rush City takes that first set 25-11. And you heard us mention it, but I'll say it again. Did not feel that lopsided.
No, International Falls did a good job of staying in position and keeping the ball alive.
Yeah, and we mentioned the Willies, Madison and Bella. Man, did they do a really good job there of helping their team continue to stay alive in that first set. And not only that, they made a lot of good key plays as well in that first set.
Yeah, good vision, I think, is the big factor for those two seniors.
Yeah, two seniors. They have about 6 of them on that I-Fall squad. Again, only 4 for Rush City. I say only 4, but those seniors are very valuable to Rush City. The serve here from Sejadovic is over and just lightly tapped over.
There's that vision again.
Yeah, it is incredible to watch from Madison and Bella Willie. They just know what to do and when to do it, and yeah, I like that term, the vision. It's the perfect term. Valenzuela, her serve goes into the net. That will make it even at 1 apiece. And now back to serve for Rush City will be Bankston. Checking in is Ferry. She checks in for Thielander. Of course, the head coach for the Rush City girls is Eric Thielander. I-Falls gets it on the dig. Sejadovic with the dig after the hit across. And now Ferry will look for the kill, but that is, Grace Swenson. And off the block from Hemming, it gets down on the Tigers' side to make it 2-1 in favor of I-Falls.
Yeah, Gracie Swenson with her first kill of the night. Snuck it in between the blockers of Rush City.
Nice job there by her. Called her name a couple of times here this evening. And now with the serve, Carson Corpy, but that one goes into the net. So I know we're only 4 points in, but early on, kind of similar to that first set.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It looked very similar to that first set.
Very interesting. Of course, the first set saw Rush City's first 2 points come off of 2 of their 3 come off a violation, and their first 2 come off a violation here. Well, into the net, I should say. Oh, and Michaela Ertz, I don't think she thought that was going to get to her as quickly as it did.
Yeah, a little miscommunication from the Tigers on that point.
So Ertz a little late getting her hand up on that dig, and it'll be another point here for I-Falls. And now going back to serve, I believe is going to be Kale Taylor. It is, and her serve is over, dug up there by Gar, and looking just to tap it over. Oh, miscommunication on the side of I-Falls as Autumn Stream gets it over and down for the point for Rush City.
It looked like International Falls was trying to expand their defense, and as they were doing that, she just tapped it over and caught them on their heels.
Nice job there as Hemming will now get the serve for Rush City. It's over and dug up. Here comes Bella Willie, but her hit is long. And another mistake. That leads to another Rush City point.
Yeah, a bit strong on that one. Just trying to find that spot on the floor in bounds, not able to.
So Veronica Hemming will serve again here for the Tigers of Rush City. Her serve is up, and it is over. That's dug up there by Valenzuela. And trying to tap it across, but blocked at the net by the Tigers. It was Stream and Sajadovic. And the Broncos get it back across. Gar will get it back across again by I Falls. And now Stream will look for the kill. Hemming will keep it alive. And, we get a call on I Falls again.
Some misfortune for International Falls because that was a good play by Gracie Swenson, but hitting the net on her way through.
Yeah, that's so tough. And I've played volleyball recreationally before, but man, I can't imagine being that close to net, getting that big of a swing, and not hitting it every time.
Yeah, just body control.
Yeah, it's awesome to watch. Now it is on the side of I Falls. Ella Ferry got it across, and it looked like, again there for I Falls, just another miscommunication mistake. Looked like it got over after a tip by I Falls, and I know they didn't just watch it fall, but that's what it seemed like from up here. And that one off the day going to be a little too far in front of Tessa Can.
Yeah, it was. It kind of came off the arm a little wrong. It's a game of inches, and it was on the outside of her arm, and it kind of bounced out of bounds.
Unfortunately there for I Falls, that will put them down 7-3 here as the Rush City Tigers have a lead. Again, a majority of these 7 points have come off of a Bronco mistake. And again, for Rush City, again, you'll take points any way you can get them. But I think for Rush City right now, what they're talking about is, hey, we got to be going on the aggressive side here just a little bit, because you don't need to be too aggressive with the lead.
Yeah, it looks like they need to clean things up, even if it's not for this match, but for the next match. It's just going to get harder, and they really need to clean it up. Not to mention, they have a pretty tough squad ahead of them right now that you really need to clean up, and they can catch it. It's not over quite yet.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
That 25-11 first set victory only counts as one.
Right, exactly. And I've talked about it before. You can't win a set in one swing. It's one by one. As Veronica Hemming will go back to serve once again for the Tigers, and her serve is over, dug up by Bella Willie, and looking for the kill, but into the net goes Gracie Swenson, and that is so tough because Swenson, she has a big swing, but it just goes into the net. Hemming will get the serve again for the Tigers. It's over. That one goes towards the ground, but looking for the kill, and racing after it was Bankston.
My
goodness, what a swing.
There was no defense for that.
No, my goodness. You square one up like that as the defense, I just wish you good luck. Holy moly. That's a point for I Falls. It's 8-4 now off of that point, and Gracie Swenson will go back to serve. Gar with the dig for Rush City. And Stream will look for the kill, but it's dug up by the Broncos, and looking forward to get it across is Bella Willie. It'll go to the net. They'll tap it over, and back across by Sajadovic. Looking for the kill again off a big swing is Bella Willie, but keeping it alive are the Tigers. That time Ferry gets it across, and leaping after it was Kale Taylor, but just unable to get to it. And that one's tough for her because if she did get it, she would have been into the net anyways.
Yeah.
So that's one of those where it's like, well, you're darned if you do and darned if you don't.
I want to give a shout out to Cora Sajadovic on that point. She blocked the ball at the net, and then International Falls, as that one will just fall on the International Falls side. But they tapped it over on the first hit, and Sajadovic had the athleticism to land on one foot and go the opposite way to get underneath that ball.
And you talked about it before, body control. My goodness, it is awesome. And that hit going to be long from Bella Willie to the far side, and that'll make it an 11-4 Rush City lead. And
a 9-1 run that Rush City is on right now.
My goodness. It's a game of a couple of long runs here for Rush City. Even in that first set, they went on a pretty long one as well. Serve is over, dug up high, Falls will get it back across, and that will set up Bankston, and that is out. Just out, my goodness. Again, I do not want to be those refs.
No.
Bella Willie will go back to serve for I Falls. They trail 11-5. Rush City leads 1-0 over the I Falls Broncos. Bella Willie with the serve. Over, dug up by Gar. That's Sajadovic, and Bankston will look for the hit. Back across, and the hit back across by I Falls. Rush City with the dig. Bankston will look to tap it across. They're racing after it, but Taylor gets to it in time, and this will be a tough third hit, but they do get it across. Does Swenson right to the Tigers, and Stream will look for the kill. Off a block at the net. Broncos keep it alive, and again back over from Valenzuela, and Zajadovic trying to get it over, but man, I Falls just keep themselves in it. Oh, and then we get a double hit call there on the Broncos, and you feel like if that didn't get called, it almost seemed like that was trending towards the Broncos' point.
Yeah, International Falls had the advantage on that point, but Rush City comes away with the point.
Yeah, it's weird how it works sometimes as Gar will serve for the Tigers. And trying to just tap it right back down as Zajadovic, but High Falls keeps it alive. Ertz will look for the kill off the block, and it gets down. McKenna Ertz with the kill there on that one.
I said it before, but McKenna Ertz at 6'1". She's really good defensively, but also she's a weapon offensively as well.
Absolutely. She does a good job there getting the kill. Gar with another serve. And, another double hit call on I Falls. So right now, Broncos kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, now a 12-2 run we're at now.
Wow. 14-5 is the score. The serve from Gar is over, dug up by Madison Willie, and she'll look for the kill off the block. Gar diving dig. And, Bankston didn't want to kind of leap over her own teammate. That's why Zajadovic came out of nowhere to try and get it, but it does wind up getting down.
Everybody comes away safe?
Yes. And is that one of those where it's kind of you're okay with letting that fall? I mean, obviously you want to keep it alive, but as the Tigers, are you okay with that one falling because you do have the lead?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're not okay with it, but, up 8 now, and you don't want to, hurt yourself at this point.
So the Rush City Tigers take a 15-6 lead. Serve is over, dug up by I Falls, and that'll set up Swenson for an attempted kill. Gar got a hand on it, and then racing after it was Zajadovic. I'm surprised she even went for it that far. I mean, that was almost to the I Falls bench, and she still hadn't stopped trying to go after it.
Yeah, it looks like International Falls has some machine guns on their own side.
Absolutely.
With the Willies and Swenson.
Trying to keep themselves alive as Bankston just light tap across, and Swenson will try and get it over. Blocked at the net by Ertz and Hemming, but it gets down. And all of a sudden, Rush City has the lead, but man, it really feels like I Falls is kind of gaining some momentum here.
Yeah, confidence is growing on the Broncos sideline.
Valenzuela with the serve here, and Ertz, oh my goodness, she didn't even try to line that one up. She just lightly tapped it across. The Broncos will get it back across for them. Hemming will get it to the Broncos side, and Valenzuela got the dig, but unfortunately her dig goes straight to the court. And that will be a point for Rush City. Bankston will line up to serve now for the Tigers. And that one, oh my goodness, I thought that was going into the net.
A couple of those have happened.
It's over, and Hemming will look for the kill. Doing some sort of matrix move.
Yeah.
Pavlik.
That ball caught Pavlik instead of the other way around.
Yeah, it did. And the block at the net there from Whitbeck, and Madison Willie gets down. That makes it 17-8 in favor of Rush City. Bankston a serve again. It is over. Dug up by their libero Corpy. And Madison Willie will get it across. Diving dig from Zajadovic, and Ertz off the block gets the kill.
It's hard to block when the girl hitting it is taller than you are, and
yes.
That makes it difficult to defend.
And she can leap. I mean, she can get over that net by a mile, it seems like. And that's going to be a double hit. Yep, double hit, unfortunately, there. That one was pretty obvious.
Slipped through the Diamond Dallas Page signal went to her head.
That serve. It gets over for Bankston. It'll be an ace.
Trickles over the net.
Yeah, it's one of those that kind of grew legs. It hit the net, grew legs, and crawled over. So a timeout called here by the Broncos from International Falls. They trail 20-8 here in the second set, and it's another one of those where really doesn't feel that lopsided.
No, it looked like I Falls had the momentum when it was, 16-8 or something,
like
but Rush City then rolls off 4 straight points, and now they're up 12.
Yeah, so Rush City still I don't think has really played the game they have wanted to here this evening. I do think they're pleased with where they're at, but I'm sure they would like to be playing a little bit better because we have seen they have made a couple of mistakes here tonight that are uncharacteristic of them. But again, you still have the lead, so I can't imagine you're too worried about it.
Yeah, I think when we listen to Sports Talk Radio, we hear a lot of this is sort of like a coach's greatest thing ever because you come away with a victory, but you still have things to coach.
Right, exactly. And, of course, they have a pretty darn good coach in Eric Thielander. He's had this volleyball team for quite a few years and has done a very, very good job. And the serve from Bankston as we come back out of the timeout is over, dug up. That time by Swenson. And, the hit into the net from Madison Willie will make it a 21-8 lead now for the Tigers. And Bankston will go back to serve. It is up and it is over. Dug up by Swenson. She'll get a chance for a kill attempt, but blocked at the net by Ertz. Somehow, I-Falls keeps it alive.
Good recovery.
Yeah, that was incredible. Now Bankston comes across, lightly taps it across. Swenson again keeps it alive, and Madison Willie will get it across to Hemming. Now I-Falls has it, and Madison Willie will look for the kill, but it is out.
Tough break by International Falls.
And that's almost one where you feel for him because it felt like that was going to be their point. A perfect placement there again by Madison Willie, but it just goes out. And that time I-Falls gets one back off of the mistake from Bankston. She hits it into the net on the serve.
Playing with fire, getting it to trickle over the net a couple points ago.
Right.
I mean, if you can do that on purpose, quite the weapon for that.
Right. And then we get another serve into the net by I-Falls Corpy. And that will make it 23-9. And going back to serve will be Michaela Ertz. She's had plenty of time here in both of these first two sets. I know during the regular season she got her time in, but it didn't seem like as much as it does tonight. And looking for the block at the net, but not going to get over the net for I-Falls, and it will fall on their side. Now set point for the Tigers. They lead 24-9.
It was a good idea by Corpy, but just got a little too close to the net.
As Ertz now will ready the serve. It's over, and that's going to, I don't know if that's, I don't think it'll be an ace because they got a second hit on it. But that will be set number 2 going to the Rush City Tigers by a score of 25-9. And the Tigers have a 2-0 lead going into that third set. And how big a deal is it for Rush City to have a 2-0 lead over I-Falls right now, and how big a deal is it for I-Falls to be down 2-0, especially when we feel like I-Falls has just been right there?
I think it's pretty demoralizing if you're down 2-0 and at a total of 30 points that you've lost by, but you're only down 2-0. So if you win the next 2 sets by 2 points,
yeah,
you're tied.
Right. And I think that's all they can hope for right now is just to kind of get that momentum back and continue to play their type of volleyball, because again, we've talked about momentum and it seemed like they had it there for a solid chunk in that second set, but they just couldn't overcome some of their own mistakes. And then of course give credit to Rush City because they have played a very good game tonight as well. And again, it still doesn't feel like Rush City has played their type of game here tonight, but they still got a 2-0 lead. So we will take a quick commercial break, and we will come back for the third and what could be the final set as you're listening to Volleyball here on WCMP.
End of the season means savings at Minnesota Equipment. Save big on remaining zero turns in stock. Bravely, Aaron's, Toro, and John Deere. Buy now with 0% financing available. That's 0 on zero turns. Need a walk behind instead? I got plenty of those too. On site and ready to go. The knowledgeable staff will get you the machine that fits your property size. Minnesota Equipment. Your neighbors. Your experts. Your neighborly experts. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
Hi, this is Shelby from Unity Bank in Rush City, Minnesota. Do you want to give your teenager independence and responsibility? Open a savings account or a checking account with the debit card at Unity Bank today. Plus, with the Unity Control mobile app, you can help control their debit card activity. And stay tuned because we'll soon be offering a Rush City Tigers School Spirit debit card, where with every purchase you make with your School Spirit debit card, Unity Bank will donate up to 5 cents to our local Rush City School District. Let's be committed to community together. You can find us at unitybanking.com, and our number is 320-358-3600, member FDIC.
Back here for the third and what could be the final set. Of course, I-Falls has done a good job so far. Even though they're down 2-0, they still have done a good job. Rush City looks like they're going to use the rest of the in-between period here. But again, this one feels as if this were to go to I Falls in this set. I don't think either of us would be surprised.
No, I mean, but you look at it and you see Rush City, and we talked about it in the pregame about how they're not dominant at anything, but they're really good at everything. So you're in the set and you're like, okay, we're playing with them, but you look up at the scoreboard and you're down by double digits.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it's Rush City. What can you say?
Right.
They've been playing that way all season.
Yeah. Yes.
Not dominant anywhere, but very good everywhere.
Yeah. That's a perfect way to put it, too. And now they'll look to close out this one and get to the championship game back here on Saturday evening. Going back to serve will be Aubrey Pavlik. Her serve is over and just long. And so this will be the first time that Rush City will score the first points of the set. Those first two sets saw I Falls score the first points, but this time Rush City gets one off the mistake of the Broncos. And going back to serve will be Sayatovic.
Still no ace for Sayatovic here in the third set.
Which is surprising. We almost got one there after it hit the net and crawls over, but it does stay alive after I Falls gets to it back across, and now Hemming will look for the kill. Oh my goodness, great spot.
Hemming with her third kill of the night and got that far sideline.
That was just, I mean, sometimes it's just the placement, and you can't, if you're the other team, you just can't help it.
Well, you're playing to block the kill, so your whole defense is really kind of coming towards it.
Right. Sayatovic will go back to serve again, and her serve is up, and it is over. Dug up by Madison Willie, and they'll keep it alive, and getting it across is Carson Corpy. Tigers have it, and then it's pushed too long there by Bankston.
Bankston just a bit strong. She doesn't seem to be quite on her game in this set, but her team is really making up for it.
Yeah, and we mentioned it, where this team, they do very well at every position, and it seems like any one of them can come off the bench and do just as well as we go back and forth on a volley and block. And now the Tigers have it, and Bankston will hit it back across for Swenson. And Swenson trying to get it, and that was another one of those situations where if you hit it, you're going to hit the net. If you don't hit it, it's going to fall, and that's just a tough one.
Well, and we talk about how the versatility of this Rush City team is their biggest weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on the court right now has a kill for Rush City.
Wow.
And that's pretty impressive.
That is really impressive as Bankston's serve goes into the net. That'll make it 3-2. Rush City still with the lead as Madison Willie gets set to serve, and Bankston a late dig on that one. It looked like she got her hands up a little late for that one, and also she was out of position, so trying to get her hands back in a way that could get the dig, but that was a good serve there from Willie.
Some more early set struggles for Rush City here in the third set.
And that time looking to change things was Ferry. Oh, and then trying to get it was Destry Whitbeck, and unfortunately, I think she might have lost that one in the lights because she had it as she was turning around. She kind of lost it. That'll make it 4-3 in favor of the Tigers. Substitution quickly here for the Broncos, and Michaela Ertz is back to serve. Her serve, oh, it hits the net. It crawls over. An ace.
That's a momentum ace right there.
Yes, very much so. So that it doesn't matter if it gets over. It's a point, and it's an ace as well for Michaela Ertz.
Pretty good gig if you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if some of these players don't just try and perfect that. Oh, and we're going to get a...
Yeah, they're saying it was tipped by Hemming on the way through.
Interesting. I think we're a little bit too far away to
the official's
say,
right there.
Right?
I mean, when you watch games and you want to argue with officials and you're like, well, they're right there.
Exactly.
Let's just usually trust them.
Hemming will look to come back with a kill of her own, but it's blocked at the net, kept alive by the Broncos. And now Swenson looks for the kill, but it's dug up there by Bankston. And it is hit back across. Didn't see the number. I believe that's Stream. It is Stream who hits it back across, and they'll get the point, the Tigers. And it's 6-4. And early on, Rush City not playing their best here early on in this set, but they still have a 6-4 lead. And man, if this is them not playing their best, man, whoever they face in the championship game better bring their A game plus. And Bankston goes after it late there. Gar keeps it alive, and Bankston gets it back across. Oh, my goodness.
That ball was dead.
Oh, and then a kill for Bella Willie. She says, hey, I see your nice set to keep that alive, but I'm coming back with a kill to get a point. Wow. What a back and forth we had just there real quick. Gar, I mean, that should have, you said it, that was dead. But Gar hustled after it, and then Bankston hit it across, and then, as I mentioned, Bella Willie just said, all right, time for my point now. And that, that one I will disagree with, respectfully, of course, but.
I think that was pretty clearly in.
Yep. Oh, the
head they're saying it was tipped on the way through, but.
So the head judge is going to come in and overrule. That's all right. That's why you have these refs down there, so they can communicate like that, and if there's a disagreement, they can come together and communicate and talk about it, and you love that. Oh, and then Ferry, I don't think her teammates saw it right away. I don't think they knew where it was. Because Ferry got the dig, and it almost looked like they didn't know where it went.
Yeah, and just like that, International Falls is within one here in the third set.
My goodness, International Falls will not go away quietly. Bella Willie will go back to serve. Tigers do have a 1-point lead, but blocked at the net, my goodness, and they'll tie it with that block right there at 7. And if you're Rush City, I can't imagine you'll let that go a lot longer before calling a timeout to kind of regroup.
Yeah, Coach T-Lander, I believe, is right on the precipice of calling a timeout.
Well, maybe after that one, he'll give him a little bit more of a leash before the timeout as Bankston gets a big swing off a block, but it is down for a Rush City point. So do you feel like if that point would have went to I Falls that T-Lander would have came out and called that timeout?
Yeah, I think so, and Bankston coming away with her 7th kill of the night.
And that's one of those where, and a miscommunication, Bankston and Gar. That is a rare mistake by the Rush City Tigers. Bankston and Gar kind of both, again, looked at each other. Gar dove after it late, but that's a rare mistake from the Tigers, and I Falls tied it at 8 again.
Yeah, you can't have that here in the playoffs as each point is so important.
And then Michaela Ertz hits this one long on the far side, and all of a sudden, I think this is the latest lead in a set that the Broncos have had. And now the ball is gone. The ball has left the building. There we go.
Has somebody talked to the Hamburglar? Yeah. Has he taken it?
And we've got it back in play now, and Broncos will get set to serve. It is up and over. Dug up by the Tigers, and Bankston. She'll just tap this one over. We haven't seen too many big swings from her tonight. I wonder if that's a game plan thing or if that's just how it's been kind of working out for her side. She hits it back across. It's dug up by the Broncos and kept alive, and it goes into the bleachers. All of a sudden, it's 10-8 now for I Falls, and my oh my.
Yeah, now International Falls has the momentum.
Yeah, they had it there in the second set, but couldn't pull it away, and now all of a sudden, they've got things working their direction, and that will help. Sayadovich will get just a little bit of a lift over on the second hit and get the point back for Rush City. Rivich will check out for Hemming. Veronica Hemming, one of the 4 seniors here for the Tigers.
Sayadovich seems to be the calming influence on this team. When things get a little too hot, she'll calm things down.
Yeah, she really does, and she did a good job that time. The serve is going to get over. They get it back over. Sayadovich with the dig, and Bankston will look to hit it across. Dug up by the Broncos libero Corpy at the net. Blocked at the net by Ertz. That's why you have her up there. And then the hit is, another one that was close. Again, I can't argue, but just from the glimpse I saw, I thought it was out, but again, they're down there. The rest are down there right at the line, so another close one.
Yeah, now 11-9. Things are getting to the midpoint of this third set.
Bankston with the dig off the serve from the Broncos. Does that one go into it? It did. All of a sudden, it's 12-9, and I can't imagine that T-Lander will let this go on too much longer before calling a timeout. His team has seemingly dominated 25-11, 25-9, but we have said that really hasn't felt like that. But right now, I Falls says, hey, we're not done. Oh, a diving dig from Bankston. Maybe would have been out had she let it go, but I think I like not letting it go on that one. Sadovich will get the dig, and Hemming's got a tough job. That one stays on the net after the block at the net from the Broncos. Bankston trying to get the kill here. Kept alive. Oh, my goodness. Oh, they almost got that one back across, but it does get down for a point for Rush City.
You almost had two teammates accidentally punch each other on that one.
They did. That was close.
Because both of them just threw fists at the ball.
They really did. They really did. The serve here from Bankston is over. A light tap across from the Broncos on the second hit. And now Ferry looks for the kill. That's going to get down in front of a Bronco player. And that's just a smart hit there from Ferry. Very smart play.
Yeah. Bankston now with 8 kills and Ferry now with 6. So she's right behind her.
Bankston with the serve over. Dug up by Swenson. Swenson looks for the kill. That block at the net helped. And then Gar got the dig, and then Ferry chased after it, just couldn't catch up to it in time. But that block at the net, I think, certainly helped things for the Tigers there.
Big point for International Falls to keep the lead.
13-11 is the lead, and Hemming will push this one across after the serve from Madison Willie. This hit is out, that time from Bella Willie. And that'll make it 13-12.
Looking at the scoreboard, Bankston has 8 kills, Ferry has 6, as we said before. But on the other side, Gracie Swenson with 7. Wow. Madison Willie with 6, and Bella Willie with 5. So they're doing their part as well.
Yeah, they really are. Talk about just good everywhere, and that is what I-Falls seems to be doing here. Bella Willie.
That scared me so much.
Yeah, she's laughing about it, thank goodness.
Yeah,
but
right.
She tried to kick the ball to keep it alive, and I didn't know that you could do that till last year. I did not know that was allowed, as I seen it a lot last year, but her knee bent an awkward way, and I was extremely worried that was not going to turn out well, but she was able to get up, and now we've got the hit over, blocked at the net by Rush City. It lands on their side, though, and the lead right back to the Broncos.
Yeah, Rush City tied it up at 13, but International Falls, another big point, just taking the lead back.
This is the most points they have scored here in a set tonight with 14, and now Stream will get the kill, but it is long. We'll stick with what the refs say on that one.
So International Falls with a 2-point lead here, coming into the late stages of this third set.
15-13. Oh, that one tough to watch, but they watched it all the way, and the Tigers will let that one go long. Especially on ones like those, I'm so weary because I've seen it so many times happen this year where they've watched it, it looks like it's going, and then it just nosedives right at the end.
Yeah, it's the trajectory of the ball.
Hemming with the serve now for the Tigers, and she gets it up and over. Blocked at the net. Oh, I don't know what happened with her. She almost got stuck in the mud, so to speak, because she just couldn't get to it. 16-14 lead for the Broncos.
International Falls student section coming alive.
And sometimes that can just propel your team a long way. And that hit going to be long from Lola Valenzuela to make it.
Broncos contingent traveled very well.
Yeah,
that whole section is filled up.
They really did.
Rush City did as well, but
yeah. But I mean, coming from I-Falls, man,
right.
that's a drive. The serve is over. We're going to get a call, a double hit on the Broncos, and that will tie this one back up at 16. And again in this one, Tigers benefiting off the mistakes from I-Falls, but it really doesn't seem like the Tigers here in this third set especially are on their game.
Yeah, this is a really big point for International Falls to see if they can keep the...
And that was on the backside of the red and white striped pole. So for those of you who can't see, of course we don't have video, but on the net there is a red and white striped pole on each side, and if the ball stays inside of that, that's inbounds, but if it goes outside of that, it is out of bounds, and that's what the ball did on that one as Rush City takes a 17-16 lead.
Good low serve there from Ribbich.
Oh, and that somehow, I don't know how Gar kept that alive, and then it stays in. How in the world should she get her hand underneath it? Gar, a diving dig, and I mean, it must have been her nail.
Yeah,
it must have been her fingernail.
And then the hit by Bankston, almost like a fade route to the corner of the end zone.
Either way, Rush City does get the point and hit across here by I-Falls off the serve, back across by the Tigers. I-Falls will have it, and Bella Ferry will look for the kill, but it's dug up by Ferry. And then getting the kill is Sayatovich, and now it's a 19-16 lead for the Tigers. So a timeout called here by the Falls Broncos, and now the Tigers student section getting back into it.
Good response. When you were talking about student section, I love good student sections.
Yeah.
I love it when they're like not necessarily mean,
right,
but sort of mean, not rude.
Right. Yes. Yep.
So you don't have to be best friends,
right.
But you know.
Yep.
When you find that line,
yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I mean I probably hear it most in basketball. Oh my goodness,
yeah.
It is. We have had and I was calling a Pine City Mora one last year in Pine City, and that's been a rivalry for a couple of years because Pine City won I think 2 years ago, then Mora won the last two, and they showed up. Man, it is so fun when they can get into it, and the energy between them is really fun too. And that comeback there from High Falls students was pretty good. That was perfect. I do believe it is Ella Ferry with the serve off the net, kept alive by High Falls. Oh, a double hit call on High Falls. That's a tough one for the Broncos because they were going to get it back across. But unfortunately, they're a double hit call. 20-16 now the lead for Rush City. Their serve is over. Dug up and back across the net. Two players get to it at the top of the net for the Tigers and the Broncos, but it's now back across for the Tigers. Bankston off the block. My goodness. Look out.
Yeah, this is Rush City at their best now towards the end of this third set, staying in position and playing disciplined volleyball.
Yeah, that hit there from Bankston, I don't envy who has to be in front of that. And then the serve into the net from Ferry. That would have been big for Rush City had they gotten that point, but it will go back over to I Falls, and
they're going to need a run of their own to stay alive here tonight.
They will. Bella Willie will go back to serve, and the Willies and Swenson going to have to come alive here in the late parts of the set. Stream will just get it light tap across for the point there for the Tigers to make it 22-17.
The changeup kind of works like a play action where you're expecting one thing and then they catch you on your heels.
Yeah.
And you're just out of position.
That's a great way to put it. Never thought about it that way. Gar with the serve now for Rush City. It's dug up and now hit across by Swenson. Dug up there by Ribich, and Bankston will line this one up. Oh, but it's long. A rare mishit there for Bankston, and that'll make it 22-18.
Grand Rapids over North Branch 15-9.
All right. That's right, North Branch playing tonight up at Grand Rapids. It's the other local team we've got still alive. And Ertz takes something off that one. Bankston, it gets back across
just
for Hirsch.
Just a wind-up. Wow. Oh, my gosh.
Surprised they were able to get that well. Yeah.
There was some anger behind that kill from Lydia Bankston.
She had something against the ball there. Wow, what a hit there from Bankston. It's a kill for her, and it'll make it 23-18. So going back to serve will be Sayatovich, and if there's someone who you want to end a set, it's her back there serving. Sayatovich with the serve. It's up and over. Dug up here by the Broncos. And Madison Willie will just lightly tap it across. Bankston right there for the dig. And she will set up Hemming. Hemming went up for, that's going to get in. Hemming went up for it. Thought about getting a big swing, but had to come back down and then just hit it lightly over, and it falls to the back line behind Broncos, and now it's match point for Rush City.
Sayatovich trying to close things out for the Tigers.
It's up, it's over, diving dig by the Broncos, pushed across, and they'll keep it alive. That's Madison Willie who keeps it going here for the Broncos.
Madison Willie having a great game so far here tonight.
And now back to serve will be Lola Valenzuela. Serve is up and it is over. Dug up by Gar. Sayatovich and Bankston looks for the kill off the net. Kept alive by I Falls. This will be tough. They'll have to get this one over, and they do. Dug up by Gar to Sayatovich. Hemming down, and that's it. The Rush City Tigers are moving on to the championship game here on Saturday, and they will face off against the winner of Greenway and Esco. So the Rush City Tigers take this third set 25-19 and take the match 3-0 over the International Falls Broncos. Adam, we talked about it. It didn't look like the best game in this one for the Rush City Tigers, but even not playing their best game, they still came out and won 3-0.
Yeah, won fairly convincingly, too. Taking those first 2 sets by a total of 30 points.
Yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
And, we talked about it in between the second and third sets about you think you're playing with Rush City, and then you look up and you're down by double digits.
Right.
And you're just defeated after that. Like, what else do we need to do?
Right. And High Falls came back in that third set and made it a set, and it looked like they might just come back in that one and steal one from Rush City, but the Rush City Tigers were able to get back, and it seemed like they got back to their type of volleyball there late in that set.
They did. They played their best volleyball at the end of that third set, playing pretty dirty volleyball there in the first part of the third set, down a couple points in the midway part, but they really kind of took International Falls' momentum and kind of turned it on its head.
So the Rush City Tigers will be moving on, and unfortunately there for High Falls, they do have their season come to an end. So we'll have someone here on Saturday at Hermantown. Someone, not sure who. We'll have someone, though. Rush City will take on the winner of Esco and Greenway. Of course, we'll keep you up to date as to who takes the victory in that other game going on up in Grand Rapids between North Branch and Grand Rapids. That is 7-3A volleyball, this 7AA volleyball. And we've got more coming up for you here on Friday. We've got football coming up. We've got Ogilvie taking on Southridge in a rematch of last year's section championship. That should be a fun one. Up at Esco High School, they've got turf, so that's nice to be able for them to play on turf.
Press box, no heat though. So it's going to feel a little different on Friday.
Yes, today we were blessed. I mean, this first part of the week we were really blessed with outstanding weather. I mean, it's crazy to think.
You probably shouldn't complain because Friday it's going to be in the upper 40s, and that's pretty normal for this time of year, but it's going to feel pretty bad.
Yeah, especially since the last 2 days have been 70s. I mean, we've been just lucky as all get out here at the beginning of November, end of October, weather-wise. But that'll be one game we'll have on. That'll be on 100.9 FM. Then Malacca will be taking on Foley in their section championship.
You had Malacca this weekend. What do you think? How do you think that's going to go? A little quick insight on that matchup.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I was able to call that more a Foley game, and Foley, they're an interesting team. They won one game during the regular season. They got beat by Malacca during the regular season. I think it was by 40 points. But you look at Foley, and they're showing that they're for real. Me and Andy were calling that game more a Foley. We were like, well, is that going to be, are they for real? We were kind of wondering. After they beat Spectrum 38-12, we were like, is this Foley team for real? And they are. Foley, if they can get things going, man, they are hard to stop. And what it is they do a great job of switching up the pass game to the run game. They have such a nice balance, and they can really use them both so well in their game. So I think something that Malacca is going to have to watch for is the pass game. They struggled in the pass against Annandale, and I think if they want to win, I think they're going to have to stiffen up on defense, especially in the pass game, to win on Friday. But if you're Foley, you got to come in there. And one thing we talked about, too, is they never got down on themselves. They always seem to have that positive attitude. They never seem to be too down. They're always right there in it, kind of like we've seen with some of these volleyball teams. They just never hung their head. They were always there with it. Even when Moore would score a touchdown, they said, all right, let's get back out there and let's go get it. So I think for Foley, just keep that momentum you've had and play your type of game. Don't do anything drastic. Don't change too much. Play your type of game. And for Malacca, I think you're going to have to rely on your defense a little bit more, because if Foley realizes that Malacca can't defend the pass, well, they'll lean heavily on that. Then our other game on Friday night will be North Branch versus Cloquet. That's kind of a upset as well. These brackets this year are just, I mean, if you've kind of done kind of the NCAA bracket type this year, where I don't know, maybe you have money on it, maybe you don't, but if you have, I mean, you've probably ripped up your bracket and thrown it out, because we've had a ton of upsets.
Well, I mean, you had Foley at the 7th seed, but the North Branch Cloquet, isn't that a 3-4 matchup as well?
Yeah.
Two, top half teams, but you don't expect them to go this far.
Right, and Cloquet beat Grand Rapids to get here. I mean, they didn't just edge them out like an overtime. I mean, they put a whooping on Grand Rapids there in that game. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that one turns out, because North Branch did beat Cloquet. I believe it was 40-27, so a 13-point game. So we've got some good matchups coming up here on Friday. Of course, we'll have someone out here on Saturday for the championship game for Rush City, as they will take on either the winner of Greenway and Esco right back here on Saturday evening at 6 p.m. So, Adam, 3-0 win here for the Rush City Tigers. Give us your final thoughts here for Rush City, and what do you want to see them do in their championship game on Saturday?
Well, I think they do need to clean it up a little bit, but, it's really not that far from what they want to do. It's almost they play so well just as a team, and it really puts – because you never know where it's going to come from as an opponent, and that's a really big weapon.
Yeah.
So Rush City just needs to continue to be consistent and just playing their game, and I think they'll do just fine.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about it all night long. They get that production from anywhere on their bench. And even when it seemed like tonight, when we thought that a timeout might come, that was right when those players stepped up, and we seen kind of that senior leadership come out and just say, hey, let's go back and let's get it. Let's come back. And they did. They came back and would score the next point. And they really turned things around here in that third set, because I think that third set could have easily went to High Falls.
I thought it was a really big move from Coach Eric Thielander to let that go and let their team come back from that. He could have called a timeout, but he didn't. He let the team work it out themselves, and I think that's going to play dividends in the future when something like that happens, when you get into bigger games where, okay, we've dealt with this before, you can get through it.
And what does that say for not only the head coach but also the seniors to be able to realize that, hey, I have the coach's trust now.
Yes, trust is that's kind of the word I was thinking of, but it didn't come to my mind. Yeah, trust. Trust is big, and your coach, sorry, go ahead.
no, you're totally fine. Yeah, I think that's huge, because especially with the seniors too, because they feel like they can now not have to worry about maybe the coach pulling the plug, so to speak.
Yeah, it really kind of loosens you up. You can tell on the bench they're loose. Even when they lost a point, there was a lot of smiles out there on the court, and a lot of my bad, and your coach trusts you to get through whatever you need to get through.
Absolutely, and also I think that goes to show how much that those teammates for Rush City rely on each other and how well their communication is with each other, and I think that just goes back to them being together throughout the year, throughout the summer, and also these past couple of years together. So Rush City, whoever they face off, is going to be a good one. Looking at it, it'll be Greenway or Esco, and as we take a look at that side of things, I mean, Greenway's had a good year, as has Esco, but give us your best guess as to who the Tigers will face in that championship game.
Oh, jeez. I'm not sure.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just started watching volleyball, and it's just so... It's fun. It's like when you watch high-level volleyball, it's so fun. Maybe that's coming from me as a Badger fan. National champions, ding. But, I mean, it'll be fun to see whoever comes out of it, because high-level volleyball is so much fun to watch.
It really is. And Esco and Greenway, both two very good programs and two very good teams once again this year. So, the Rush City Tigers get the victory here, 3-0 over the International Falls Broncos. Of course, stay tuned in about 2 days, a day and a half. You will hear Adam Hefty back on the airwaves over on 100.9 FM, calling that 9-man Section 5 championship game between Ogilvie and Southridge. And I will be on the air on Friday calling that North Branch Cloquet game. And Andy will be back on the air on Friday calling that Malacca Foley game. So, Adam, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks again for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And we will talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
It was fun.
It was a really fun one. So again, for WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. That's Adam Hefty. Thanks so much for joining, and have a great rest of your night. So again, for WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. That's Adam Hefty. Thanks so much for joining, and have a great rest of your night.